Hey guys, tonight we drift into a place that isn't quite reality, yet feels uncannily familiar. You lie on something, soft moss, maybe the air is humid, thick with jasmine, and something deeper, something you can't name. The sky glows with a lavender hue, neither day nor night. And right in front of you, there she is, a girl bear, unbothered, and gazing at you like she's been waiting forever. Her eyes don't flinch. You sit up, realizing you're dressed, thankfully, but you feel different, like something in you has been rewritten. Her long silver hair ripples, even though there's no wind. She takes a step closer. You notice small glowing markings dancing along her collarbone, like constellations inked into her skin. You try to speak, but she places a finger gently on your lips. Don't move too fast, she says, voice like silk. Your arrival has already stirred the stones. You'd laugh, maybe, if this didn't feel so dreamlike. You're half convinced you're still in bed, and this is just one of those dreams. But the pressure of moss beneath your palms, the heat rising from her skin, none of it feels fake. She leans forward, eyes studying you like you're both puzzle and answer. You're the one they chose, she murmurs. Not just any traveler. You carry the scent, the scent. You instinctively sniff yourself. Nothing unusual, maybe a hint of shampoo and regret. But she nods. Come, there's a place we must visit before your body forgets how to breathe, okay? Now you're definitely dreaming. She walks barefoot, and you follow. The forest seems alive, leaves partying just slightly before she touches them, shadows curling like they're listening. The further you go, the warmer it gets, not uncomfortable, but flush. Like someone turned the room heater up to a suggestive setting. You ask her name. She glances back. Names here don't hold, but if you need one, call me Lua. Lua Moon. Fitting. You pass what looks like a pond of mirror-polished glass. For a moment, you see yourself in it, not as you are, but different. Eyes golden, mouth parted, fingers glowing faintly. Lua doesn't stop. Don't stare too long. Water remembers. Too much, right? That makes sense. Probably, eventually, you arrive at a clearing. There's a structure made of pale stone altar, a shrine, or something in between. And standing beside it, another girl. This one with curls of deep crimson and a feathered shawl, though very little else. She looks at Lua, then at you, and nods. He's not cracked, the new girl says. Not yet, Lua replies, but he will be. Excuse me, cracked. Before you can ask, they begin walking in a slow circle around you. Lua hums, a tune that makes your skin buzz. The redhead, her name, is whispered later. Something like Yari grazes her fingertips along your shoulder as she passes. You're not cold, but you shiver. Don't worry, Yari says. We're only checking for fractures in your aura, your vibe, your sanity. Unclear. Suddenly, Lua stops. She presses a warm hand to your chest, right over your heart. It beats like it remembers. Yari joins her, placing her forehead to your back. You are officially the meat in a mystical sandwich. Do you feel it? Lua asks. You're about to say, feel what, when something does shift, like a ripple, from your spine to your fingertips. A brief flash, Lua in a different outfit. Yari crying in the rain, your hands bound in silken, then it's gone. Lua sighs. He's linked. The thread's still there. Yari smirks. Then we can begin. Begin. What? A ceremony. A sacrifice. An interpretive dance. Lua takes your hand and leads you to the altar. This is where the crossing starts, she says, where the gate between our worlds can open. But only if you offer something real. You glance down at yourself, like, my shirt, she chuckles. Not quite. She places your palm on the cold altar. It pulses faintly. Yari hums, and a circle of glyphs glows beneath your feet. Your vision shimmers. Lua leans in, her lips grazing your ear. What do you long for, traveler? You think of warmth, of connection, of the kind of intimacy that doesn't fade with daylight. As if reading your mind, Lua brushes her thumb along your jaw. Then you're ready. The world tilts, and the last thing you see, before everything turns silver, is Lua whispering. One word, follow.
You blink, but the light doesn't go away. It's not blinding, it's soft, like a memory warmed by candlelight. When it fades, you're somewhere else entirely. The temple rises before you, nestled in a field of tall blue grass that sways. Without wind, its stone is pale and worn smooth by time, covered in vines that bloom with lazy pink flowers. Despite its size, the temple doesn't loom, it invites. A half-open door at its base breathes warm air towards you, scented faintly with vanilla and old paper. Lua stands beside you, arms crossed beneath her chest, watching your reaction. This is where the seal sleeps, she says. And where the flesh begins to remember. You raise an eyebrow, she notices. You'll see, she adds, with that tone that says you probably won't survive this. But in the most reassuring way possible, Yari appears again, barefoot this time, her ankles jingling with small silver charms. The temple doesn't hurt, she says, tracing her finger along the stone archway. It just demands. Inside, the walls glow with soft pulses, like they're alive. Symbols shift as you walk past, nothing scary, but they definitely blink at you once or twice. You ask what they say. Lua shrugs. They used to say words. Now they mostly moan. Okay then. The main chamber is round, with a shallow pool in the center, perfectly still. Floating in the water are petals, feathers, and a single silk ribbon that coils like a snake. Around the pool are 4 stone seats, and behind each one stands a statue, each female, each different. One laughs, one weeps, one hides her face, and one looks straight ahead, lips parted. Yari hops into one of the seats and stretches like a cat. Choose, she says, nodding toward the statues. Choose what? Lua kneels by the pool, dragging her fingers across the surface. Choose the part of you that will unlock the seal. You hesitate. It's not like any of the statues look evil. They're just ... emotional, raw, human. You step forward and find yourself drawn to the one that hides her face. There's something familiar about her. Shame, vulnerability, secrets you don't speak aloud. As your hand brushes the statue's foot, a warmth blooms up your arm. Not burning, not electric, just heat, and the faint pressure of being seen. The air thickens. Lua hums a soft, steady tune that wraps around you like fog. Suddenly, your back arches, not from pain, but memory. Fleeting flashes, fingers tangled in hair, breath shared. Soft gasps in the dark. You stumble back, heart pounding. Yari grins. Ah, that one always hits deep. Lua approaches, placing a steadying hand on your shoulder. You've begun to remember. That's good. You ask what exactly you're remembering. She tilts her head. Your bond. The one that crossed time. To follow you here, the pool begins to ripple, though no one touches it. A low hum rises from the floor itself. The seal is responding. Yari says, now crouched beside the water, you lean forward. In the water, a shape forms, not your reflection, not Lua's. Someone else, A woman with hair the color of midnight, eyes closed as if dreaming. She looks peaceful, but as you watch, her fingers twitch and her lips move without sound. She's waiting, Lua says. But the gate won't open until you give more. You glance at Lua. More what? Her expression softens. Flesh. Okay, that's vague and concerning, but she doesn't rush. Instead, she steps back and gestures toward the pool. Not in the way you think, not pain, not sacrifice, just ... honesty. Uncovered. Before you can respond, Yari steps forward and takes your hand. Gently, she guides it to the ribbon in the pool. The moment you touch it, a soft chime echoes through the temple. Your shirt vanishes. You do not scream, but you do flinch. Lua chuckles. The temple prefers simplicity. Modesty. Confuses it, Yari adds. You're not cold, which is odd. In fact, the air now feels almost tailored to your comfort, like you've stepped into a memory of warmth. The statues glow faintly. The one you touched pulses gently. Like a heartbeat, Lua steps into the pool barefoot, water swirling around her. Ankles like ink. One more thing, she says. She reaches toward you not forcefully, but with reverence. Her fingertips graze your chest, not sensual, not clinical. Just ... Present, the light in the room flares. A door opens in the back wall, stone grinding over stone. A sound ancient and final. It's time, she says. We go deeper. You follow her through the threshold, the air shifting as you pass. Behind you, the temple fades into silence. Before you, a long hallway lined with mirrors. But they don't show you, they show versions of you. Ones you don't quite recognize, some laughing, some crying. One ... Whispering Lua's name like a prayer. She glances back. Don't worry. Only one of them is real. You ask her which one? She smiles. You'll find out. When we reach the gate. The hallway narrows as you walk. The mirrors closing in just slightly, never enough to make you feel trapped, but enough to make you feel watched. Not in a sinister way, more like a stage actor stepping into spotlight after spotlight, each mirror reflecting a piece of something you were, or still are. Lua walks ahead, her steps slow, graceful. She glances into one of the mirrors and chuckles softly. The version where you wore that ridiculous scarf. Bold choice. You look. And sure. Enough. The mirror shows you still you, but younger, cockier, wrapped in a bright red scarf and flashing a grin that says, trouble. It's like flipping through a scrapbook of different lives, each reflecting not just aesthetics, but mood, energy, longing. The gate doesn't respond to your current form, Lua explains. It responds to the you who first made the vow. Are you? Ask, what vow? She stops, turns, looks at you in a way that makes your skin warm. The one you made to love her. Beyond one body, beyond one life. That's what started this whole crossing. Suddenly, the mirrors go dark, all at once. A pulse in the air, like a breath held tight. You've arrived. Before you stands a massive stone gate, smooth, rounded at the edges with veins of soft blue light trailing through it like the delicate bones of wings. It has no handle, no lock, no hinge. Just a soft circle at the center, outlined faintly in pink. Lua steps closer. This is the heart gate, she whispers. It listens only to intimacy. You raise an eyebrow. So, like a password. She chuckles. More like a confession wrapped in warmth. A kiss wrapped in memory. Of course, Yari appears again, seemingly from nowhere, biting into what looks like a fruit, but gleams like glass. The gate's picky, she says between bites. It doesn't open for flings or fantasies. It opens for tanglement. Lua nods toward you. Do you want to try? You step forward, heart thudding in your chest like a distant drum. There's no instruction manual, just a glowing circle, and the soft hum of magic that smells faintly of wild roses and candle wax. Lua leans in, close enough that her breath grazes your cheek. Don't think, feel. So you do. You close your eyes. Picture her, the woman in the pool, the one whose fingers twitched, whose lips moved without sound. You don't remember her name, but you remember her laughter, the shape of her shoulder under moonlight, the way she used to touch your wrist like it was sacred, and then slowly, almost shyly, you lean in and press your lips to the circle. The stone warms beneath your mouth. Softly, like skin kissed by sun, the moment stretches. A breath held by the entire temple, and then click. Not a mechanical click, more like the final note of a song finally being played. The gate shimmers, then melts. Not literally, but it seems to dissolve into light, revealing a room filled with floating petals and thick velvet air. The temperature rises again. Your skin tingles like it's remembering something your brain still hasn't caught up to. Yari steps beside you, brushing a petal from your shoulder. Well done, lover boy. Lua enters the chamber first, arms wide. Welcome to the space between. You ask her what that means. It's not your world, not ours. Just the stretch of memory where truth and desire kiss. She turns to face you. Her expression is softer now, a touch more reverent. This is where you meet her, but not as a stranger. You take a hesitant step in. The petals shift around. You, glowing faintly, sticking to your skin like soft sparks. There's a dais in the center round, plush, covered in silk the color of moonlight, and on it, ... she lies there. The girl from the pool, ... eyes closed, breathing slowly. One hand resting on her chest, the other stretched toward where you now stand. Lua whispers. Touch her, and the memory flows back. You pause. Your hand trembles. Then you reach out and let your fingers brush hers. Warmth floods your arm. Not fire, not pain. Just ... recollection. You see her sitting by a window, sketching clouds with her finger. You see her laughing as she pushes you into a lake. You see her crying lone and whispering your name into a room that didn't answer. The images crash over you like waves. You stagger, knees buckling slightly, and Lua catches your elbow. Steady. It's a lot, I know. Yari's voice floats. In from somewhere above, you always go for the deep cuts. And then, the girl opens her eyes, not with a gasp, not with drama, just a gentle blink. She looks at you, puzzled, and then smiles. You came back. Lua takes a step back. We'll leave you too. You'll need to anchor soon. The girl sits up, sheets falling from her shoulders like lazy clouds. She places her palm against your chest, directly over your heart. You feel it again, that pulse, that memory, that vow, and she whispers your name like it's a lullaby. She says your name again, softer this time. It doesn't feel like sound. It doesn't feel like sound. Feels like silk brushing the nape of your neck. You can't remember when you told her your name, or it doesn't matter. The way it rolls off. Her lips feels ancient, earned, like she's said it 1,000 times before. Her fingers trail upward, stopping just beneath your collarbone. You haven't changed, she murmurs. Still always arriving late, still carrying too much in your chest. You smile, but there's a lump in your throat you didn't expect. Her voice, her touch hits deeper than logic, more than desire. It's recognition. And it makes the air around you thrum with something quiet but immense. Lua and Yari have already faded into the shimmering petals, giving you space, or, more precisely, giving memory space to unfold. The girl, your girl, tilts her head, studying. You like she's mapping your face against 1,000 other versions. You look tired, she says gently. even your shadow's sleepy. You start to ask something, maybe where are we, maybe what happened, but she stops you with a raised hand and a shake of her head. She smiles. This place isn't for questions, it's for remembering. She pats the silken bedding beside her, an invitation without urgency. You sit, cautiously. The fabric gives way under your weight like water held in place by patience. I used to wait for you, she says. In every version of my life, always with a cup of something warm, always with a door half open. A pause. You didn't always walk through it. There's no accusation in her voice, just soft fact. Like weather, like memory, you reach for her hand again. It fits yours like the second page of a poem, finding its first. You weren't always ready, she continues. Sometimes you were scared. Sometimes I was. Her other hand finds your knee, warm and steady. But now we're here, and this time we don't have to rush. The room responds, faint music now, from somewhere deep in the air. Not a melody exactly, more like a lullaby humming through the walls. She leans her head on your shoulder. Hair smells of cardamom and old books. Do you remember the orchard? She asks. The one with the trees that bloomed in moonlight. You try. You don't see it, but you feel it. A silver field. Branches bowing with glowing fruit. The crunch of grass beneath your feet as two naked forms ran laughing between rows of shimmer. She hums again. That was my favorite night. You turn to face her more directly, and now she's looking at you differently, not with recognition, but with hunger. Not just the kind that burns flesh, but the kind that wraps it in need. She brushes your cheek with the back of her hand. We have time now to remember slowly. She leans in, not fast, not demanding. Like a tide reaching the shore, her lips are soft, familiar, like a song you haven't heard in years, but somehow still know the words to. The kiss starts small, hesitant, but deepens in a heartbeat. Pulling memories from the corners of your chest you forgot were even yours. You gasp. Softly, as something clicks, this is the moment you broke the vow last time. This kiss, you left too soon. You pulled away. But this time, you don't. And the room responds. Petals lift off the ground in slow spirals, caught in a breeze that seems to come from nowhere. The bed beneath you shifts, stretching into a field of soft velvet grass. The stars return overhead, brighter than before. She eases you onto your back, hovering above you, her hair curtaining your face in darkness and warmth. You never got to see me like this, she whispers. Not fully. Your hand finds her hip, tentative at first, and she shivers not from cold, but from presence. You always held back, she says, tracing a finger from your jaw down your chest. Afraid the dream would end if it got too real. Her lips touch your throat. You swallow hard. This time, don't dream, she says, rising to straddle your waist. Just be. You try to speak, but the only sound that escapes is her name. The grass beneath you glows faintly now. Every breath you take is syncopated with hers. Every heartbeat echoed in the sky above. You reach up, your palm finding the base of her neck, feeling her pulse match yours. And then nothing else matters. Not the temple, not the gate, not even Lua and Yari, just the two of you, suspended in a place that isn't quite physical, but entirely real. You give in not to lust, but to gravity, to warmth, to the sacred quiet between two mouths when all that's left is breath, no sharp movements, no fireworks. Just two bodies unlearning distance, teaching each other stillness, and matching rhythm like lullabies do. And as your bodies align and settle into the moment, she whispers, "This is what we lost last." Time. You don't answer aloud. You just hold her tighter. The petals have stopped falling now, but they hover in the air, frozen mid-glide. as if time itself is giving you space to breathe. You lie there with her, resting against your chest. Her breath light and steady. Her fingers trace lazy circles on your skin, like she's trying to memorize you through touch. "You always held tension here," she says, pressing gently at the hollow between your ribs. "Even in the lives where we never met," you ask. If this has happened before, you've really done all of this in other versions of you. She nods, not lifting her head. Versions? Yes. But this is the first time you've stayed long enough to ask. The grass beneath you hums faintly, and now you realize it's not just grass, it's memory. Every blade a strand of a moment, laughter in a garden, whispered names under the covers. The ache of parting at a nameless dock. She props herself up, looking into your eyes with a sleepy smile. Do you remember the lake? You don't nod until she leans forward and presses her forehead to yours. And suddenly, you do. The two of you on a floating dock under stars. Her pulling you into the water fully clothed. Kisses that tasted like river mint. A splash, a shout. The way she clung to your shirt like letting go would end everything. The memory crashes in waves, cool, clean, tinged with longing. And when you blink, you realize the field is gone. The velvet grass, the petals, they've been replaced by moonlit water all around you. You're in the lake. You glance down. Your legs dangle in the water, rippling gently. The girl, still unnamed but intimately known, sits across from you. On the dock, smiling. "Memories like that," she says, trailing a finger across the surface. "They don't stay quiet forever. They demand to be felt." You nod slowly. "So this place changes with memory." She shrugs. "Or maybe memory changes the place. It doesn't matter. Both are real while you're here." She leans back on her palms, arching her back just slightly, and for a moment the air seems to hum louder. The stars ripple in the lake's reflection like they're blushing. You let your hand skim the surface of the water. It's warm again. Everything here is warm. It's not fire, not fever, just closeness. She stands suddenly, the moonlight cascading over her skin like liquid silver. "Come with me." You follow, of course. You swim to her, and she leads you to a deeper part of the lake. But as you reach it, there's no floor beneath your feet. You begin to drift, not down, not up, just away. And then you land on something soft, something shifting. If you look around, now you're inside a bathhouse. It smells of cedar, steam, and skin warmed by candlelight. She sits beside you in one of the baths, water up to her collarbones. Her hair slicked back, cheeks flushed. She looks like a painting you once stared at for hours, except now she's real. And breathing and looking at you like you're the art. "This was always your favorite room," she says. Steam curls around. A light laugh escapes your throat. Feels like cheating to bathe in a memory. She raises an eyebrow. "Do you feel cheated?" You look around. The flickering candles, the gentle sound of water lapping, her bare shoulder brushing yours. No. You feel held. The two of you soak in silence. Her foot finds yours under the water, and you let the contact settle you. No rush, no tension, just presence, just closeness. She shifts slightly, and now her legs drape over yours. She rests her head on your shoulder. "You always wanted to make everything perfect," she murmurs. "Even when all I wanted was you. Messy, tired, real." You swallow hard. That version of you, ... Yeah, you know him. The one who got so tangled in proving his worth, he forgot how to just be wanted. She turns, and her lips brush your collarbone. Just once. Then again, and again. You know what this moment is. You remember it now. In that other life, this was where you left, afraid of being too much. Or maybe not enough, but this time, you stay. She pulls back, eyes gleaming from the steam, and says, "Stay soft with me." And you do. The kiss that follows is not hungry, it's reverent. Her hands find your jaw, your back, your heart. Every place she touches feels like it's been waiting. You pull her into your lap. Not because you're trying to escalate anything, but because holding her feels like returning something that was never meant to be lost. The water splashes gently as you adjust. Her laughter like honeyed rain. She wraps herself around you, not just her arms, not just her body, but her whole self. Her scent, her breath, the hum in her throat as she rests her forehead against yours. "This version of you," she whispers, "is the one I dreamed of." You smile, lips ghosting over her cheek. "I think I'm dreaming too." She pulls back just enough to look you in the eyes. "Then don't wake up yet." And in that moment, nothing in the world feels more real than the water between you and the warmth of a body that finally feels like home. You wake, or maybe shift, it's hard to tell, because the world never jolts here. It flows. The bathhouse has faded, melted away like steam itself. Now you're lying on a thick futon in a room dimly lit by paper lanterns. Tatami mats beneath. Your back, the scent of incense soft in the air. She's beside you, curled against your side, drawing idle lines on your chest with her fingertip. There's no need to speak. Her silence is intimate, not empty. Like she knows you'll say the wrong thing if you open your mouth too fast. Eventually you whisper, "Was this real?" She glances up, eyes amused. "What is real?" She murmurs, stealing a phrase philosophers love to leave unfinished. But then she smiles and rolls onto her back, stretching like a cat. "If you felt it," she adds, "then it was." You study her face. She looks different now, Lorda. No, just deeper. Like she's let you see more of the version that never hid behind playfulness or mystery. There's strength in her quiet now, and you wonder aloud, how many versions of us have there been? She considers hundreds, she says. But this is the one you're waking up to. The room begins to pulse gently, like a heartbeat you can feel under your skin. It's not unpleasant, but it does make you aware that something is shifting. Again, "The anchor's coming," she says, sitting up. "This world only holds so long without it." You ask what she means. Lua enters then, as if summoned by the very question. She's dressed differently, no longer in flowing fabric, but a form-fitting bodysuit that glows faintly with shifting runes. Yari isn't far behind, carrying a silver basin filled with a liquid that looks like melted moonlight. "You've reconnected," Lua says, looking you over with faint approval. The gate opened, the bond took root. Now we seal it. Yari places the basin at the foot of the futon and winks at you. "Don't worry, it only tickles. Probably." You sit up slowly as Lua kneels before the basin and begins to chant, not loudly, not dramatically. It's more like a lullaby, half hummed, half spoken. The symbols on her suit glow brighter. Then dim. The girl beside you, the one from your memory, stakes your hand in both of hers and whispers, "Whatever happens, don't pull away." The room hums louder. The liquid in the basin rises, floating, stretching upward into a ribbon of silver mist. It snakes toward you like it's searching, tasting the air. You don't flinch. You hold her gaze. And when the mist touches your chest, you feel everything. The first touch, the first word, the first goodbye, the vow you whispered to her in a forgotten field, standing barefoot under a rainstorm of stars. "I will find you again, no matter the skin or sky." Your own voice echoes in your ears, as this time you don't cringe from the weight of the promise. You embrace it. The mist wraps around you both, sealing something invisible but undeniable. Yari lets out a satisfied breath. Anchored, Lua rises, expression calm. "You'll remember this time." You look down at your hands, and changed, yet heavier. like they've been filled with memory, meaning? The girl leans in, kisses your cheek. Now comes the hard part, she says gently. You frown, harder than this. She smiles faintly. Waking up. The mist retreats back into the basin, and suddenly the room feels colder. Not from temperature, but from absence. Lua takes a step back, her voice quiet now. You've done what many couldn't. You remembered her. And you stayed. Yari tosses you a folded robe, black, soft, embroidered with that same glowing thread. Put this on. You'll need it where you're going. You glance around, and where's that? Lua touches your forehead with 2 fingers. Back. In a blink, the room begins to blur. The lanterns smudge into stars. The tatami mat becomes mist beneath you. Your breath grows slower, heavier. The girl squeezes your hand hard. Don't forget me again. You promise you won't, even as the room folds inward. Even as Lua's voice counts backward from 10. Even as Yari hums a soft tune that makes your eyelids impossibly heavy. You hold her hand and then dash darkness, still, but not empty. You feel the robe's fabric. Against your skin, you feel her name on your tongue. You feel ready. You awaken slowly, not with a jolt, not with confusion, just the steady, drowsy pull of gravity returning to your limbs. A soft pillow beneath your head. Cool sheets tangled around your waist. Somewhere far away, a window lets in morning light, muted by sheer curtains. This isn't the temple, it's your apartment, or at least, a version of it. Your books are where you remember them. Your mug on the bedside table, still half full. A sweater tossed lazily on the floor. The soft hum of a fan whirring in the corner. Everything feels exactly the same, except for the robe draped across your body, black, embroidered, glowing faintly, like it still remembers the other world. You lift it carefully, fingers tracing the unfamiliar symbols that pulse with warmth beneath your touch. You sit up slowly. Your body feels heavier, not with fatigue, but with memory. The kind that settles in the chest and doesn't let go. And you remember her, not just the softness of her skin or the way she said your name like a secret, but all of it. The lake, the bathhouse, the vow, her laughter in the orchard, her whisper as the anchor wrapped around. You both, don't forget me again. You won't. The robe slips from your shoulder as you stand. The floor is cool beneath your feet. You cross the room in silence and open the drawer you haven't opened in months. Inside is the sketchbook you once filled with dreams. You couldn't explain, and there on the first page is her face. You don't remember drawing it, but it's there, not perfect, not polished, just enough, a soft jawline. Lips parted as if mid-laugh, eyes that know too much and still choose tenderness. You close the book and hold it to your chest. The world feels too quiet now, until you hear a knock, not loud, just 3 soft taps. You freeze. No one knocks like that. Not here. Not ever. You move to the door, not bothering to grab a shirt. Your heart is already racing. Not with fear. With recognition, you open it, and there she is. Hair damp from rain. Eyes tired but warm. That same look, half question, half knowing. She tilts her head. Did I leave something here? You stare, she shifts, uncertain. You okay? You nod. Slowly. Yeah. Just didn't expect to see you. She smiles, and it's the exact same smile. I was walking past, she says. Something told me to knock. You gesture inside. You want tea? She laughs. You always offer tea first, I remember. She steps inside, brushes a raindrop from her collarbone. Her fingers graze the robe on your shoulder, and she pauses. What's this? You hesitate. Something from a dream. She runs her hand along the embroidery. Feels real. You nod. It is, the moment hangs. She looks at you not like a stranger, not like an old flame, like someone who's been waiting through lifetimes for this conversation to start again. And just like that, you're back in the quiet warmth of knowing. You pour her tea. She leans on the counter, watching you like she's memorizing the curve of your wrist. You slide her a mug and your fingers brush. Her breath catches just slightly. I had a strange dream last night, she says suddenly. You were there. You. Don't answer. You just smile. She looks away, bashful. It felt ... important. You sip your tea. Do you remember what happened? She shakes her head. Just feelings, familiarity, and a lake. I think there was a lake. You nod slowly. There was. She stares at you, lips parting like she's about to ask 100 questions at once, then closes them. Chooses silence instead. You stand beside her now, shoulders almost touching. You're here, you say. She leans against you. This time, I stayed. You both fall quiet, the steam from your cups curling upward like threads connecting memory to matter. Outside, the rain begins again, soft and rhythmic, and you swear. Just for a moment, you see petals falling past the window. The rain continues for hours, not stormy, not cold, just the kind that soaks the world in silver and softens the edges of sound. Inside your apartment, time slows down even further. The tea's long gone cold, but neither of you moves to reheat. She sits on the floor now, knees pulled to her chest, resting her head against the edge of your couch. Her damp hair clings to her neck. You're on the floor too, beside her. Your shoulder brushes hers, and the warmth there feels like a tether light but unbreakable. You ever think, she begins quietly, that maybe we've done this before? You glance at her. I don't think. I know. She turns toward you. There's no disbelief in her eyes, just curiosity tinged with something deeper. Recognition. What happens next then? You think of Lua, of Yari, of the vow whispered under starlight. You smile. That's the part we get to choose. Her face softens. She shifts, leaning into you until her head rests on your chest. The beat of your heart slows, sinking with the rhythm of the rain outside. I used to dream of you, she murmurs. Even when I didn't know your name, just a feeling. Like someone was missing. You wrap an arm around her, fingers brushing the curve of her shoulder. I used to leave before you woke up. She exhales slowly. Not this time. And you know she's right. Whatever this is, this version, this chapter, this quiet stretch of breath between lives, it's yours now. The world doesn't need to shimmer with petals or glow with celestial robes. It just needs to hold the two of you in this hush, this suspended warmth. The dream didn't end. It just ... grew roots. You lie there together, watching the light shift across the ceiling as clouds pass outside. Words come and go, spoken softly, but it's the silence that says the most. Later, she falls asleep, curled into you. And you stay awake a little longer, not because of worry, but reverence. You study the rise and fall of her breath, the way her lips twitch slightly with some half-dreamed memory. You brush a strand of hair from her forehead and press a quiet kiss there. Outside, rain tapers off. The sky turns a gentle blue, and just before sleep claims you too. You whisper into her. Hair, I remembered. I stayed. And I'll keep staying. She shifts, just slightly, as if her body heard what her dreams could not. And the moment stretches forward, not like a line, but like a circle, a loop, a promise made and kept. And made again. Wind down. Final 300 words. The light outside has changed, now warmer, softer. Wrapping the room in gold, everything feels slower, thicker, as if time itself has decided to rest for a while. Your breath deepens, your fingers relax, That distant hummed a fan in the corner. The hush of the world outside lulls you gently toward sleep. You're still here, still warm, still held. No more gates, no more tests, just this. This stillness you earned by staying, by remembering, by choosing softness over fear. Her body rises and falls beside you, and you match it. Inhale, exhale. The rhythm of two lives sinking again. No drama, no music swelling. It's just the quiet triumph of presence. You let your thoughts drift now through temples of memory, fields of velvet grass, lakes that glow in moonlight, hands that knew you before you knew yourself. And as those thoughts begin to blur, soften, and dissolve into the dark, you let go of the noise, the weight, the timeline. You are here, you are safe, you are remembered, and as you finally slip beneath the quiet waves of sleep, someone whispers in the space between dreams, I found you.